like a little thing on the top saying this is being recorded.
All right.
But yeah, other than that, you can continue.
Okay, so for now, wait, I'm just gonna see if I can do that. Yeah, I can see that. It's like a little red dot thing recording.
Yeah, yeah.
And share, here we go. The whole iPhone / iPad? No, it's the screen. Yep.
Yeah, the screen might work better. It's just loading. Yep, okay, cool. I can see it. Rock, paper, scissors.
I might have changed it a bit.
You might have changed a bit. That's okay. If blah blah blah. It looks good so far. It looks pretty good to me. So have you tested it as well?
Yeah, if you want, I can show you.
Sure. It looks like it works, but just to have a look at it.
Okay, here we go.
Cool. And then you can just continue playing it.
Yeah, and if I were to this time like that, just it.
Oh, okay. Please try again. And then do you just type it there?
Yeah, if I actually type it this time.
Cool. Looks good to me. Does it all make sense to you as well?
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, I can make sense.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I might move you on to the other topics possibly. This was also just a revision. So I'll see if you know any of like what we're gonna do today. If you do, we can like move on to a different level.
Right.
So let me just get it open.
If it's possible, will we be doing anything like sort of drawing?
Drawing. So have you done anything with Turtle? Have you heard of Turtle? Python Turtle?
Turtle, yes, but if I can say, I mean, I'm talking about more a bit like TK Inter and Canvas.
Ah, okay. So I'm not sure if that's on like these lesson plans. Let me just have a look, and see how much you know of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Let me just have a look. Yeah, because I'm not sure if we do TK Inter with this class, but we could try have a look at it. Let me see what's there. Have you learnt about things like functions and stuff? Definition?
Yeah, yes, I've done that before.
You've done that before? Okay. Let me go through the other stuff as well. Have you... Hang on. Let me get it open. So what kind of drawing were you thinking of? Like with TK Inter and stuff?
Well, I didn't like necessarily drawing, but just sort of a game that might be able to have some sort of background and some sort of graphics.
Right. Yep. Okay. I get you.
If you want, I can show you another program I did following a book.
Yeah, sure. That would be good. Just so I can get an idea.
Pythons. Here we go. Which one was it? There we go. That's the one I called it. Open with. It should come up in a bit.
Okay, that's fine. Sometimes takes a couple of seconds to load. And I think it's a bit slower because I'm watching your shared screen as well.
Maybe I should just try again.
Yeah, I can see it loading. Right.
Right, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this one was using a book, and I'm getting most of it. I've added some colors as well than to what the book says.
Oh, cool. Oh, so you were following like a book about Python?
Yeah, and I've added some of my own things.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then you can.
Oh, you can actually interact with it and stuff.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And if you click this white, this white is different to this white. This one will clear everything, but I have sort of a logic bug that it clears the buttons as well. So.
Yeah, but it looks good so far. So, that was just you following a book, was it?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Do you understand everything that's happening in that program?
Most of it.
Most of it? Okay.
Like most of it I can get.
Okay, that's cool.
It's I think the one I don't really understand is just these numbers.
Those numbers.
Yeah, how they work, sort of.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's kind of like a grid system, or it's just like the location.
Yeah, I'm just not entirely sure how the location works. That's
how it works, right?
I figured out the pattern, so that's how I keep adding on more colors.
Oh yeah.
If I were to start from scratch without the book, I wouldn't be able.
Oh, without. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Cool. Well, that looks pretty cool. I'm just checking if like we have any TK into stuff. I'm not 100% sure if we do. I think we, some of the games we do, we make it with. Hang on, let me try open it up and see what it looks like.
I'm just gonna see if I can.
I think we make it more with Turtle, and it makes more like game-like stuff. But let me just have a look. But also, have you worked with things like timers and stuff before?
With pardon?
Timers, sorry, in Python?
No, not really. So that would be good to do.
Okay, because what I'm thinking is, because like you kind of want to make an interactive game, but what our lessons kind of do is they teach you like the fundamentals of Python.
Yeah.
They kind of build on like what you've learned before. So I was just thinking for today we can like work on something that you haven't learned yet. But then I'll check also if we have any other TK into stuff for next week. But because generally it's good to know like these fundamental stuff, because then later on when you make more complex games, you have this like basis knowledge. It's like if you're making a game, you can like add things like timers and use like all these other different kind of Python things. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just note it down and I'll get back to you about the TK into stuff. But for now, I'll see like what you haven't learned, and then we can start like learning that stuff too. So let me start with. So you said you've done some stuff with functions, right?
Yes.
Yep. And does it all make sense to you?
Yeah, I believe so. Wait, did you want me to open Python then?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, do you want to try explain to me what a function does?
Well, there can already be some functions, but you can also create your functions.
Yep.
What you do with the functions is it's sort of just it just allows you to not have to repeat the same code several times.
Yep, exactly. Good job. And then, do you know how to make a function? I saw you used it before, but
I believe so. I can't seem to find Python. Where's Python? Wait,
I think you can just type it in. Yeah, idle or Python.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Wait, I'll just go idle. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so idle might help.
Alright. Idle. That seems really weird.
Is it not showing up?
What if we just try like that? Okay. Okay.
Did you not install it on this one?
No, I found it.
Oh, okay, you found it? Cool.
It was on top for some reason.
Oh, should have still showed up when searching. It's a bit unusual.
All right, there we go. I got it up.
You got it? Cool. Okay. Let me just try to get something up to quickly show you. Just give me a couple of seconds.
How about it?
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Yeah. I do admit I don't totally remember how to use a function.
Okay, that's okay. So I'll quickly go over that and then we can move on to the next thing. So
Yeah.
you had it, okay. So you have idle open. Let me just get it up. So I'll just show you an example of how to do the functions with Turtle. So do you remember Turtle and how like they have the dot forward and dot circle and stuff?
I know with Turtle you can.
You know.
Yeah, they go forward using pixels and they can turn.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll just quickly show you. So I'll get you to. So do you remember how to use Turtle in a Python project?
Yeah, I believe. Import.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then what you need to do is you need to create your actual little turtle like icon thing. So do you remember how that?
Oh wait, isn't it turtle create?
Oh, so it's not actually the word create, sorry. So you have to like give your turtle a name. So like you could call it Bob or like Charlie or something. So it's kind of like a variable. So you just go like Bob equals.
Okay, I see it.
Yep.
Doesn't importing turtle already sort of do that?
Yeah, so it does. But what we're doing is we're just making like our own little turtle.
Okay. So
with like a different name.
Yeah.
You can import turtle and then say like, you could just use turtle actually.
Yeah.
Like it probably wouldn't make much of a difference.
So then DME just equals turtle
dot. Yep. And then turtle dot. And then turtle with a capital T after that. And then open and close brackets.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you just mean like...
Oh, sorry, the curved brackets.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
The one near the 9 and 0.
Oh, okay.
Like the normal bracket, sorry.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. And then, so that just created the turtle really quickly. So then, like...
And then you can just go like... You can change colors, can't you?
Yeah, so you can change colors.
Yeah.
But one thing I was saying is, like, there's a function... So, like, you know how you were saying functions is like a bit of code which you can just repeat?
Yeah.
So, like, Turtle already has, like, a whole bunch of inbuilt functions. So, like, they have something called circle. So you can go, like, liam.circle. And then brackets again. So just the normal brackets.
Don't you have to put how big it'll be?
Yep. So inside that, you have to put how big it'll be.
But how do you really measure?
So do you know how in shapes, like in circles, there's a radius?
Sort of. Is that just like from that side to this side?
So it's like with the circle, it's like that line, which is like kind of like half the size.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the radius, for example, could be 50 pixels.
Yeah, so it could be 30 pixels. And then what you can do is you can just run it. So that number inside the brackets, that's called a parameter. Have you heard of that before? Something called a parameter?
I do believe so sometimes. I do believe so.
That's basically like in a method or function, you can like use numbers that people like that user inputs or like that we kind of put in, and then you can like change it depending on that. So like in this case, it's like drawing a circle, but like instead of inside the function having that circle always at a set size, like you can change the size by changing that parameter. So I'll just quickly let you run it.
There we go.
So yeah, so it drew the circle. So anyway, that was just like intro to Turtle, but the point I was trying to make is that's a function.
Yeah.
So like Turtle has a function called circle. So what we can quickly do, just to quickly like refresh your memory on functions, is we'll make our own function, but this time to draw a square. So what we can do is there's something called, so we have to like create a definition in Python. So
sorry. Okay, I think I remember now. Okay.
Yep.
So what are just
you type in DEF.
I remember now. Okay.
Yep. So that's kind of like defining the function.
Wait, isn't it def square actually?
Yeah, so it's def square.
What is it? Def square.
And then you have your brackets. And then...
Wait, don't you need to put something like A and B?
So you don't have to. So that's what I was explaining. Those are parameters. So like, for example, if you wanted it to always be like the same set size, you don't need to put any parameters. You can just draw the square at like 100 pixels by 100 pixels. But if you wanted to be able to change it, so like how we do with circle, then you need to put a parameter in. So it doesn't have to be A or B. It can just be any word. So like we could call it side length or something. So if you just type that in as one word. Yep. So what that is it means we can use that. It's kind of like a variable. We can use that variable to draw our shape. And then that variable would just depend on like what the person types in inside the brackets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Oops, sorry. So what we need to do next is actually draw the square, like physically with Turtle. So to draw a square, what do we need to actually draw?
We would have to go Liam dot square.
Oh, so without doing square, because we're actually making this function.
Okay.
We want to do it like kind of from scratch, just to get an idea of it. So like doing it with like lines and turning. What, like when you think about it, like how would we draw a square? What do we need?
We'd need forward.
And
then we just...
So forward, this is where we can use our variable or that parameter called side length.
Yeah.
So instead of giving it like a set size of going like forward like 50 pixels, we can actually use that word side length. So then later when we call that function, you can just change the number.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So we draw, like we go forward and then what do we do?
Right.
Draw a square.
This, should we... Yeah, okay. This one's just 90 already.
Yep, so it's just 90 because it's a square. And then, because this is a square, how many times do we need to do that?
We need to do the first one, the one that's highlighted, 4 times. And the bottom one, we only actually need to do it 3 times.
3 times. Yeah.
But some people do.
But you can do it 4 times just to make it go back. But yeah, you can do it 3 times. But another thing, instead of actually copying and pasting those lines like 4 times, what's a faster way we could do it? Do you know?
Oh, would it just be copying the whole thing like that?
But instead of like having heaps of lines of code, like a way to make it shorter. Like, so do you remember what we could do to like repeat it? So have you used loops in Python?
Oh yeah, okay, loops.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, so it just makes it easier so that instead of having like a whole lot of code in our file, like instead of having 8 lines or 7 lines, we would just have that little bit of code. So do you remember how to do the loop in Python?
Yeah, so do you want this to be a while loop or for loop?
So a for loop would be good. Yeah, because we just want to loop through that bit of code 4 times.
So would it be for x in 4?
Yeah, but you might just need to do for x in range 4.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just saying like a range from a range of 4.
Okay.
And then don't forget to indent the other stuff. And then you can just get rid of that second dot forward bit of code. So now, like what you have in your function, so this is kind of defining the function, and it's just basically telling like the code to actually draw a physical square. But now to actually use that function, we have to do it like how we kind of do the circle thing.
Yeah. Wait, do you need...
Except, oh, sorry, what were we going to say?
Can you just write square side length, or does it have to be turtle dot square side length?
Yeah, so because you made this function, you just go square side length instead of like turtle dot.
Yeah.
The reason that turtle dot thing is there is because it's part of that turtle library. But because you made this yourself, yeah, you just...
But this time I don't write side left. I can write, for example, 200.
Yep, exactly.
And then I just go run.
So now, oh, that was the first circle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So does that make sense of how to make a function?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you can keep like repeating that. So you could go like square, and then you could make a smaller square after that. So like you have square 200, you could do like square 100, and then it'll draw 2 squares. So it just saves you from like having to repeat that bit of code all the time.
How small would this be, just by curiosity?
It might just look like a little dot. I guess we'll find out. Ooh.
Yeah, no.
It's pretty small.
Yeah, they're very tiny. It's very tiny, but they're 4 pixels colored in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's smaller than the cursor.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So does that all make sense to you?
Yes.
Yep. And does that side length thing make sense to you as well?
Yes.
Yep. So that's called a parameter. So basically you can just change like that number. It's kind of like a variable, but in a function. So without you... Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, sorry, you continue.
I was just going to say, like, without you having to make a function that's like a square of 100 pixels each side, it can like change depending on the user.
So wait, may I just ask?
Yeah.
Would it help you if I showed you more of the things I did?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because there are other things that I did like to see. Okay, wait, I have to go like this.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So the reason why I was just going through this is just to check that you know what it does, because I can see that you've used it, but just to check that,
yeah,
like you can understand it and stuff. That's all. Oh yeah, so you've already done something similar.
Yeah. The problem is this. I drew 6 of them.
Of the snowflake things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that one uses similar concepts.
And if you would just like to see one that's completely about parameters,
yeah,
this, I believe this one would be perfect. Oh wait, no, I'm not even sure. Oopsie. No. All right, here we go. There we go. So it's not okay. Honestly, it's not Yeah, it does do sort of. It does use parameters.
Yeah.
That you can
Oh
change.
yeah, I can see quite a few parameters. But yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to double check that you understood what
Yeah.
all the functions and parameters was about. I can quickly move on to, have you learned to like write to a file and stuff as well in Python?
To a file.
Yeah. So like writing things to a file?
No.
No? Okay,
That,
that's okay. So
but
I'll
that
like,
would be great to learn.
that would be great to learn. Okay, so I think that's actually in a couple of weeks, but like I'll quickly go through these so you could probably power through them. But the next thing I'll do is timers. So again, let me know if it is too easy for you, but I'm just going through these because then you have like a basic understanding of what Python can do, and then you know like more of what Python can do.
Yeah.
So that you're able to make more complex programs and things. But yeah, so what I'll get you to do is open up another idle window.
Would it bother you if I just deleted this one?
Oh no, that's fine. It's up to you. Your program, so you can change it.
All right, there we go. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So just to double check, do you know what a library is in Python?
I'm not really.
Okay, so I think
I know you can have dictionaries and lists, but not.
okay, so I think you know, like you've used libraries before, so like Turtle and things like random and stuff, they're all
Yeah, they sort of give you modules already.
Oh yeah, so they're modules. So yeah, they're pretty much the same thing. So the timer also has its own module. So it's called time. So the first thing you need to do is import time.
Yeah, I think I've tried doing a code on this, but that didn't really work.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know if it sounds familiar as we go on.
Okay.
But yeah, if not, we can move on to the next topic. So yeah, so we have time. And what we like, you can do various things with time. So one thing you can do is like we can find out what the current time is. So to do that, you go, so do you remember in libraries how you got to go something dot and then a function?
Yeah.
We have to go time dot, and then you have to type in ASC. ASC time. Yep. And then the brackets, just the normal round brackets.
But how would you know which country you're in?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I think you could probably change it. But I think what it does is it probably gets it from your computer.
Yeah.
Possibly. That's a good question. We can try look it up and see. But yeah, I think you could probably change the time zone, but I think like when you like install Python and stuff, it sets it up and does the stuff.
So if I were to just click run now, it would show me the time.
It could, but one thing you might need to do is to actually, you might need to print it if that doesn't work.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that was my fault for not telling you, sorry.
It's okay.
So print and then in brackets.
Yeah, I forgot to do it myself. Right.
Yeah. So I thought it might have worked, but maybe not. Oh, it might work in the shell. Oh yeah, it probably would just work in the shell, but
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. Wow, that's very specific.
Yeah, so it prints out like the whole date, time, and everything. Is it the correct time?
Yeah, I do believe so. 6:24.
Does that say 6? Oh, okay.
Wait, does it do? Wait, it's done the seconds as well.
Yeah, so it's really specific. So that's why like with this time thing, when like when you make more complex games, you can actually like have timers in it and stuff. So like that's how you create timers. You kind of get the current time and then you make a timer and then you base the seconds off that.
So how do you create a timer then if that's possible?
Okay, let me double check how to do that. So to create a timer in Python, you might need to make a variable give me a second. Let me just quickly check up on this. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Okay. So give me 1 second. While you're waiting, another thing you can try is instead of ASC time, there's another thing called local time.
Okay, I'll try it out.
Yeah, so that's another thing.
I remember reading a book that said they were different.
Yeah, so I think they are similar, but there are some slight differences.
Yeah, I think because it's one of those funny books that talks about science and funny stuff at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
They were talking about it for an excuse to come late to school. Okay, here we go. It says the
local time.
What does that say? Does that hour 18th, 26 minutes? No, it seems to be the same actually.
Yeah, so I think what this is, it's the same, but it's like kind of set up differently. So like it's kind of split differently. Do you see how it's like you know how the other one just printed the time straight away?
Yeah.
This kind of breaks it up. So I think what you can do with this local time is you can actually just extract certain bits from it. So instead of getting like that whole like date, time, seconds, you could just get the time, or you could just get the seconds, or just get the minutes.
Just like hour time, maybe?
Yeah, so I think, let me find the exact specifications. I'm pretty sure you have to type something in those brackets in local time.
Yeah, that didn't seem to work.
Yeah, so let me find it for you.
Oh, whoopsie, I closed it.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure there's something like if you type in like a capital Y or something, you can get like the year. Let me try find it for you.
If it's possible, I'm just gonna go turn on some other lights.
Oh, yeah, sure, that's fine. Just let me know when you're back.
Hopefully that's better for you.
Yeah, I can't actually see your face. Hang on, I couldn't see your face. Okay, yeah, that's better. My screen was small, so I couldn't see. Okay, hang on. Let me get back to what I was telling you. So there's certain parameters that you can get to get like the specific like things like seconds and stuff from the time. So I'm just trying to find the exact one. So like Python.
What about it gave us some options if we just
So
and we write something or A.
So I think you still have to go like local time possibly, and then inside the brackets you might need to type something in. So try that and see. You might need a percentage setting. So.
Yep. Doesn't seem to work.
Doesn't seem to work. Hang on. I need to find it.
Hour. Let's try that one.
So I think there's also a thing called just seconds and years and stuff.
Yeah, but and how do you? Yeah, it doesn't seem. But then from here, for example, just say I left it like that, or or if I went for that.
Okay, that's back to that. Sorry, did you have a question before?
No, wait. So did you figure out how to actually do a timer?
Yeah. So I found one thing. Let me So what you could do is,
Okay.
let me just check. So I think timers are a bit more complex because there's like a few more things you need to do, but we can try.
Can I show you what I believe a timer?
Yeah, sure.
I believe you can do a timer like, wait, am I actually, okay, here we go. It was that one.
Yes, so that's one way you can do it.
And then you can just, and then it counts in seconds. You can go like 60 seconds.
Yeah, so that's one way you can do the timer, like to actually like wait and then do something. So like, you know how, have you done Scratch before?
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, I've done Scratch.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's kind of like that wait block.
okay, so you mean if you want to run something at the same time?
Oh, if you want to run something at the same time. So
Wait, what was your?
okay, no, what I was saying was like it's kind of like in Scratch, do you know that wait something block?
Yeah,
Like
is it
wait
the
one something
sleep
block?
one like wait?
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. Like the sleep one is just like wait. So just like you can do something and you can wait a bit and do something else. So
But then,
sometimes
what are you thinking about then? What is
okay.
the more complex one? Which one is it?
So I thought you were wanting to know about like timers like on the screen, like a timer
Yeah, would
that
that
just
be
kind of
possible?
changes. Yes, possibly. Let me try find it for you because I was finding some options. I think you can do them differently. Let me get something else up. Give me a second.
Which one is it? No.
Sorry. Yeah, because with timers, like I think, like usually you can use the sleep thing because you can just wait.
Yeah.
Actually, you could probably use the sleep thing, and then what you could do is like if you wanted to start a timer on screen, you could just have like a variable called like the timer count, and you can use sleep. So for example, if you just wanted like a timer, like a second timer that counts like 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing, you could just make a variable. So we can try it now.
Okay,
So you can make a variable called like seconds or something. Oh, you can call it whatever you want. And then you start it off at 0. And then you just have like your while loop, like a forever, like a loop that would go on forever. So you can just type in something like while true.
so second while. Wait, that's no.
Hang on. Oh no, sorry. So seconds would still have to start off at 0. And then the next line would be the while loop. Sorry for confusion.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just create our variable. And then now what we want to do is in a loop, we always want to show that variable, but we want to make it bigger. So you can go while true. Yep. And inside that loop, you can go like, you can just keep adding 1 to seconds.
But you could go.
So do you know how you would do that?
Print.
Yep. So print second. And then after that, you'd need to increase seconds. So do you know how you do that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then just by 1. And then, because we want it to happen every 1 second, you need to actually use that sleep function.
Okay.
Sleep, and then just remember you need something in that sleep in the brackets.
Okay, yep.
We need to tell it how long we need to sleep. So it'll just be 1 second.
There we go. Okay, yep.
So now if you run it, so this is actually a more easier way to do a timer. It's like, do you see how it's counting down the seconds?
Yeah, I see.
Does that make sense? So like something you can do with that is if I just quickly share my screen. Give me
Do I have to stop sharing?
No, it's okay. When I share my screen, it just stops yours automatically. So can you see my screen?
No, I see black.
You see black? Hang on.
But it has told me that you started to share. Okay, yep, now I see it.
Okay. Okay. So what you can do with like that second kind of timer that we did just now is you could make like a thing like a clock. So I'll just show you like once it loads. So with Turtle, you can kind of have like a ticking clock. Can you see my screen?
Oh, well, how did you do that one?
Yeah, so do you want to work on that now? Do you want to quickly try to do that?
Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's like the next part of what I was going to show you anyway. Does that seem interesting to you?
Yes, please.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen again, and you can share yours.
Thank you.
So this just uses a combination of what we just did before by like creating that variable kind of thing. Except this time it doesn't have the variable. We just use the sleep function. And
by the way, sorry, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
This is one of the programs I did. It was just basically trying to get a clock.
Oh yeah, trying to get a clock to work. And did it work when you ran it, or did it do anything?
If you want, I can show you. It's not totally working. Look. What is the hour, for example? It's 6.
Mm-hmm.
What are the minutes? It's 47. 6:47. But it doesn't seem to be working.
Okay. So what did you want it to do?
Wait, I'm just trying to be able to just print every minute the new clock.
Okay, so like 6:37, 6:38.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
As in minutes or seconds? Sorry.
Minutes.
Minutes. Oh, okay. Oh, so you kind of want to like create a clock and then when the next minute has turned, like change. Okay, so one way you could do that is kind of like what we did before. So you know how we had the seconds thing before? We made that variable the seconds. So you could kind of do it like that.
Yeah. Can I ask, isn't this what I've done?
Okay, let me look. So while true, print a...
Oh wait, or did I do it in the wrong order?
Hour, minutes, books, sleep 1, b plus or equals 1, print a plus b, if b is equal to 60, a is plus or equal. Okay, so it looks kind of right. Let me have a closer look.
You know what? I do see some mistakes in here, but
yeah, the logic kind of seems right.
Yeah, they look like logic ones, not.
Yeah. So if you just run it again, what's the error that you get?
Oh wait. Let's check that.
Because looking at that will help as well.
Just check it quickly.
Okay, so it says must be string not int. Okay, so
it's gotten. It's like it's managed to get up to.
Okay, so I know what the issue is. Sorry for interrupting you.
It's okay.
You know that input line of code? So
Yes.
like when it asks the user, like when you type something in, it takes it in as a string. So when you go like when you say like the time is like A is 9 and then B is 45, it thinks of it like as like 9 in quotation marks and B as 45.
Okay.
It thinks of it as like a word instead of a number. So when you try to go B plus or equals 1.
So you mean that I have to... Wait, sorry, I'm losing your volume.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Wait, no, that's my fault. I must have gotten down.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me okay now?
Yep, I got it now.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Sorry.
for some reason, went down to 4.
Oh, how did that? You must have accidentally clicked on the button or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that this needs to be a integer. So
Yeah, exactly.
int.
So you have to,
Wait, not yeah. That.
yeah, so I think that should work. So you just need to convert it to an int. So what you can actually do is instead of changing int like at every time B and A is, straight after input, on the top you can convert it to an integer there. So you can say like A is equal to int input. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of doing it like in front of every time you use B and A, you can try do it there. Yep. And try
Then,
it and see if it works.
wait, we're going to have to get rid of those two.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because then that just saves you from having to type it like every single time.
Right, let's see if this one works.
Okay.
So it looks like I have several problems.
Okay, but it looks okay. It's a different error at least. So unsupported operand types for.
Okay, I think I see my problem. I'm using too many different types of ints and strs.
Yeah. Okay. So what you could do is, hang on, where is it? So print a plus. Oh yeah. So you know the plus thing.
Yeah.
Wait. Hang on a second. Maybe when you're printing it, hang on. Sorry. Sorry, do you mind opening the error message again? So I think it just doesn't like that you keep changing it from int to string, but it should.
When that's not going to work, that might run an error.
Okay, yeah, so the error, what that error is saying is, like, you know how with usually integers you can plus it with other integers, so it does like math equations and stuff?
Yes.
It's getting confused because you're plussing it with a string, because generally when you like add strings together, they just kind of like mush together and print like that. But when you add like a number and a string, it gets a bit confused. So what you could do is, if we go back to your code, try and the other code, sorry, for the.
But if you want, you don't have to worry about this. We can just go to the one we are working on.
Oh, okay, sure. But I can help you try fix it if you want.
I'm fine with both of them.
Oh, okay. I think there's only a few minutes left of this lesson, so I can try help you fix this, and then if you want next lesson, we can continue off with the timer thing.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Yep. And again, just let me know if like these are too easy for you.
The timer one was sort of new, but
yeah.
For now, I'm still missing a bit, if that's okay.
You're still missing, but yeah, that's fine. So that's why like I'm just going through these just so that like you know about them and stuff. Okay, so yeah, the error that this is saying is.
No, I mean like I'm sort of missing like.
Or like it's a bit too easy. Or like.
I mean, obviously it's not really easy because I've got many mistakes.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's possible, next time could I try to see if I can learn something else?
Okay. Yeah.
Improving on something I know.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. So we can, if you want, like quickly try to do that timer clock thing.
Yeah, is that possible?
Yeah. So that's actually still with the timers like that we were learning before. So, so do you mean like instead of working on this program that we're doing now?
Yeah, is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's completely fine. Sorry.
Okay.
Just let me know again, like if you want to change back to what we were doing before.
All right.
But yeah. But also I think the class ends now. Let me double check. Yeah, so now it's 6:45. So sorry to take up your time. Sorry
That's
we
it.
didn't get up to the other part. But yeah, next lesson we can work on the other timer, and then we will move on to like the next topics, which are
Yeah.
let me have a look at it. So I think some of the stuff is new, like how I was saying, like files and things. So those are in the coming weeks. So like there's things like the timer, and then like using advanced lists and dictionaries, but I think you kind of mentioned them. So if you've done them, we can move on to like writing like writing Python stuff to files and things like that. So we'll just continue like doing new concepts, and as I go through these, like just let me know if you have done them before or not, like in the coming lessons. But yeah, we'll start off with that ticking clock, sorry, next week. But other than that, did you have any questions?
Not really.
No. Was everything we did today like okay, or was it a bit easy?
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Apart from like what you were saying before, like next time you'd rather learn new stuff than
Yeah.
get
If it's okay.
Yeah, that's completely fine. But yeah. Other than that, sorry, what were you gonna say?
If I were to just quickly do this, do you think it would work?
Yeah, so I think that could work. So just remember you'd have to change all of them to strings.
Yeah.
And then the line above it as well. The other one.
I do see some logic errors in this, but I think for now the main thing is just to get the program working.
Yeah. It looks good so far. Okay.
Yeah, I can see the logic problem, but it's working at least.
But that's good, yeah. So I think it's just doing it twice. But
Yeah, I can see there's a logic problem, but
yeah, but that's good that you saw that. But at least you have like you know what the other issue was, and that's working. But yeah, if you didn't have any other questions, I might leave it at that.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry.
Yep. Next week we'll do the clock thing, and then we'll continue on with it.
Right.
Just let me know how the lesson goes as well next week.
Thank you.
But yeah, see you next week. And have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.